Welcome to this interview with a fabulous deaf artist. Their name is Jacob Campbell, and I'm really thrilled to have them here today with me to talk about their artwork. We'll also talk about a recent collaboration that Jacob did with Expression Australia on our t-shirt merchandise. I'd like to welcome you, Jacob. Could you tell us more about yourself? Sure, thank you. Well, my name is Jacob. This is my sign name. My art pseudonym or name is Gonketa, and I don't actually have a sign name for that as yet. There's a couple of different options, but I haven't decided on one as yet. I like a diversity of sign names because my art in itself is quite diverse with many different hands, so perhaps I'll find a sign name later on, or 5, who knows. I was born and live in Melbourne. I've lived in the north of Melbourne for most of my life. Great, thanks Jacob. So obviously you yourself are an artist. Can you talk a little bit about your art and tell us what your art looks like and what type of art you use? Yes, certainly. I like to think of myself as a visual artist. I do a lot of different styles and forms of art, but most of the time I focus on the theme of hands and facial expressions. I work on a variety of different modes, whether it be street art, painting, a little bit of photography as well, and a wide variety of mediums. Wow, thanks Jacob. Wow, so many different forms of art. Which do you think is your favourite, the type or form of art that could you pick just one? Oh, that's a hard question, Libby. I really like all mediums, but I also like trying new things. I tend to like paint the most and painting. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of work, many hours to develop your skills. It's not something that you can be capable of straight away. It's also worth experimenting with different colours and shades. So I really like painting the most. Wonderful. So you say you like painting the most. Do you have a particular style of painting? Is it on canvas or mural, wall art? I certainly like murals, very large murals. The bigger the better for me. I'm hoping to do a really big mural in the future, but at the moment I started small. I've done quite a lot of small pieces now, so it's quite rare for me to do really large murals, so I'm really keen on doing a large mural. Okay, fantastic. I have had a look at your Instagram and there's so many amazing projects. Can you tell me a little bit about some of those? Yeah, sure. At the moment, there is one just near Swanston Street in the city of Melbourne in a little laneway. It's part of the City of Melbourne Council area and it's called Rainbow Alley. There is a mural just there in Rainbow Alley that I did, and it's about 8 metres by 8 metres in size. Took about 3 days. Well, it was actually 2 days and then another half day to complete. Should have been 3 days straight, but unfortunately after 2 days we were put in lockdown. I had to wait another 2 weeks, and during that time people started taking photos and sharing it on Instagram, and I thought, hang on, it's not finished yet. So then I finally got given a permit to go back in and finished it in another half day. So really only 2.5 days in total. Because I was using spray paint, it does help. If it was painting, it would have taken a lot longer. Great. Now, I know this question might be hard to answer, but thinking back to all the projects that you've worked on and all the achievements that you've had to date, which achievement has been the one you are most proud of? Probably that big mural in Rainbow Alley. Nothing beats that, I don't think. I really achieved my goal of wanting to do a really big mural, and I've been wanting to do that for a really long time. I hope it's not a once-off. I hope I get to do more of those in future. I really want to spread awareness about Auslan and show Auslan to the mainstream so that people take a glance and wonder what it is, so that they know that Auslan is not just a made-up gestural language. There are hidden messages in my mural so that people who are fluent in Auslan may understand, and people who don't understand may wish to go and learn Auslan so they can come back and see the hidden messages in my murals. Wow, that's amazing. Thanks, Jacob. So, what are those hidden messages in your mural, and why do you focus on hands as your major theme? Well, that recent work focused on hand shapes. So, the focus was on the different types of hand shapes. I decided to put a variety of different hand shapes, and that means that there's many different meanings for each of those hand shapes. It doesn't just have one sign equivalent. Can you tell me why you focus on using hands in most of your art? Why is that your major theme? I just want to express art in my first language, Auslan. I used to do a lot of drawing about sort of general things growing up, but it really wasn't meaningful to me. But Auslan to me is more powerful. A lot of hearing people or a hearing audience may be interested in that because they don't know about it and want to do more research. So I want to bring that to the mainstream audience. I want to raise awareness on our culture, our community, and sign language itself. Not only Auslan, but around the world. A lot of art does have hidden meaning and messages. What is the main message that you'd like to relay to the community? Well, that we've always been here. We're not hidden in a corner or a really small minority group. We want to be part of the mainstream community. We want to socialise with hearing people too. We've always been there and we will always be there. Our language is a real official language. We have rich culture, rich linguistics as part of our language. Thank you, Jacob, for explaining about your art. It's really interesting to see. I'd like to ask you about the theme for National Week of Deaf People, which is this week. This week's theme is celebrating thriving deaf communities. I want to ask you, what does that theme mean to you, Jacob? Can you tell me what your perspective and take is on that? Well, for a very long time, deaf people have been on their own. And now we're starting to get back together again as a community. When we are together, we thrive. We are stronger and better, more powerful when we are together. We're able to share experiences and share stories. So we thrive when we're together. Thanks, Jacob. Now I want to talk a little bit about the National Week of Deaf People and the collaboration we did with Expression Australia and yourself on our t-shirt merchandise. Can you talk to us about that artwork and how you decided on the art and your process? I think I was in Tasmania at the time, so I'm just trying to remember. I was actually on holidays at the same time, and I had in the back of my mind that I needed to start to draw for this collaboration. I was drawing in a book at the time and just putting lots of ideas in there, and there was nothing neat or fully formed. It was just a lot of experimentation and drawings in this book that I had at the time. I then selected a few, compiled them, and once I took a photo of them, I was able to put them into a digital art digitizer. I use an app called Procreate, and so I put it into Procreate and I'm able to edit and modify, and the process does take quite a while. I'm never fully satisfied straight away. I always need to take additional time to move things around and play with the colour and the contrast and change things until I'm happy with it. A lot of the signs focus on the National Week of Deaf People. They focus on Auslan and the deaf community. There's a couple of signs in there, some that are gestures as well as Auslan signs, even things like waving. That is quite a deaf thing to do, not only to say hello, but to get somebody's attention. It's a deaf cultural norm. There are some important signs that I've included in there as well, like national, like celebration. I think it was a great way to express in my first language how I feel about the National Week of Deaf People, and I just really enjoyed this project week, and I thought it was a great project. Thank you, Jacob. That's fantastic, and congratulations on the work. You've been on such a big journey of self-development. It's been amazing to see your art. I absolutely love your beautiful murals and your artwork, and I hope that I can visit the city soon to have a look at that big artwork in Rainbow Alley. So congratulations to you on your fantastic career to date. I just want to tell a story about how I started focusing on the theme of hands. Before that, I tried to avoid using hands in Auslan because I thought it was a little bit cliche that deaf people or deaf artists focus on hands. I studied at the Victorian College of the Arts, and one of my teachers came up to me and said, come on, why not try painting or experimenting with Auslan? And it sort of took me back to the time that I used to do that. And so I thought, okay, why not? So I started to experiment with drawing hands, and the teacher said, wow, this was really fast. The process of it was really fast. And the reason being was that it just sort of came out of my head naturally. It was my first language. I could see how the hands move because I use them every day. It's something that I do every day. It's something that I look at every day. So for me, it was quite easy, and it's quite easy to get immersed in drawing or painting hands. I think I'd painted something about 2 by 3 meters at the time, and students came from my class to have a look, and they asked me what all the signs meant. And I said, look, they don't have meaning. They're just gestures. And they said to me, why don't you actually put Auslan signs on there? So I started to experiment more with Auslan signs, and people started asking me what they meant. And I realized that people were quite interested in learning about Auslan and knowing the hidden messages of the Auslan signs in the artwork. One lady tagged me in something on Instagram recently and actually asked me what some of the murals or what some of the signs meant in the mural. So it looks like they're already starting to spread awareness of Auslan, not only in the deaf community, but in the broader community as well. So that's fantastic. That's fantastic, Jacob. I really hope that more and more people see that mural and it does spread awareness of your work. I'll start to wrap up the interview now, but I want to say thank you so much, Jacob, for your time. Well, I hope that one day people drive past and can see the murals of my hands, and hopefully there's more of them, not only the one. So hopefully there'll be some in not only Melbourne, but hopefully Sydney, Queensland, and all over Australia, and eventually, hopefully all over the world, so that sign language can take over the world. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me today, Libby.